government they set for creates about 500,000 jobs, not in 5 years. So they try for look at the role of Arise IIP in job creation. So in the studio with we will get Lawrence William, who the media analysis from Arise IIP, and then we also get in the studio with Marcus Bangura, the executive director of C4D. Good morning and welcome, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
Important being many parents people for discuss about issues surrounding job creation
and development of the country. Welcome once more.
I know.
Yeah, but I'm going to start with you, Lawrence, and of course, some people, and this could be the first time you're able to, Arise IIP, not all man can watch TV and all this thing. So give us a small background of what Arise IIP they're about.
Well, like I said, I'm not particularly a staff employee.
Okay.
However, looking at the topic, I was actually informed to come and discuss here was to actually focus on the prospects of industrializing our economy with particular reference to Arise IIP, and then looking at employment, which is one of the key priorities under the Big Five game changer of the government. Now, so to start with, we need to understand what employment is or what employment does. Now, to the economy. Now, immediately after the Second World War, the West set up the Bretton Woods institutions, the IMF, the World Bank. Before that time, it was called the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. It was basically meant to provide financial resources to Western countries to rebuild their infrastructure, to rebuild their economy. Because, mind you, the Second World War actually caused a lot of problems in Europe. Now, for a very long time, development economists observed that with all the financial support coming in to the West, the GDP was growing. And GDP is one of the traditional methods of calculating a country's economy. Economic health, of determining or assessing a country's economic health. So the GDP was growing between 5 to 7 to 12%. But at the same time, what they discovered was there was growing poverty, there was growing inequality, there was growing unemployment. So this prompted scholars like Dudley Sears and other philosophers, economists, economic development philosophers, so to speak. And they now came up with a new model for economic development that will, until we reduce the three central problems of poverty, inequality, and unemployment from higher levels to lower levels, even if your country's GDP grew by 100%, these problems will still persist and your economy will be in peril. So that now brings me to the aspect of employment and how it's going to solve economic problem in this country. Now, you would agree with me that one of the reasons why you will see Europe, or all of us want to go to Europe, is because the economy it's relatively stable. Even though there is economic turbulence across the globe, but relatively they are better off than us. Why is it so? Because they were able to industrialize their economy. They have manufacturing industries. And I tell you, any country will not industrialize the economy in order to grow. And that is what is affecting Sierra Leone. Now, why Arise IIP? When I read in the news that Arise, they bring passenger train, and of course last year, no, it was early this year, I was also part of the team of journalists who were invited to cover the launch of the project. The president was there and other dignitaries. It's a massive project. And for me, I see Arise as one of the companies, if given the free leverage or the necessary support to become fully operationalized in Sierra Leone could actually significantly address the problem of unemployment and poverty in this country. Because already, from what I've gathered so far, already, they don't start these rail projects. And the intention is to bring passenger train. Before this time, in the early 60s to late 60s to 70s, when we get passenger train, and then be the pull the cocoa, the pepper, the yabas, the rest, and all other produce from Kailangu, from other places to Freetown. Now, Shaka Stevens was the one who destroyed the railway. He actually destroyed the economy. And since that time, we have not been able to rise up as a country, economically speaking. So if something like that is going to happen again, if something like that is on the verge of becoming a reality in our own generation, for me, I wholeheartedly welcome it and support it. Besides that, already I learned that they don't employ about over 1,500 people already where they work at the construction site. And for the train, the way they come and what have you, recruitment process is ongoing. This is just an infinitesimal aspect of the ARISE project. Because the actual project itself will get to do with the manufacturing industries where they plan for open and set up. Then they will lead to thousands of employments for young people, particularly those who have earned the skills and those who have actually, gotten the academic requirements but no job. It may interest you to also know that we have a union of unemployed graduates in this country. They formed a union. You can imagine that. That tells you the seriousness of the situation. So if we have companies like ARISE who will come and employ, let's say, at the very least, 50,000 people, 50,000 young people, man, you don't address a lot of poverty in our homes then. A lot of young men will be taken out of the street and become productive and useful in society.
So any ideas to probably when, because like you mentioned, you and some journalists were there with the president as well, probably in government as to when this, industrial zone will be finished and then, there'll be more employment made also?
Well, the industrial zone, from what I've gathered so far, it's a process. And of course, you have the company we ready for pump the money. And but there are bottlenecks in country, specifically with regards to the control of the Pepel Port and Rail. Now, the IMF in 2022, the 5th review of the extended credit facility arrangement with the IMF. One of the recommendations in that 5th review was for the government to take all necessary steps to liberalize the rail and ports to ensure, 1, fair competition, 2, greater transparency and accountability, and 3, for enhanced trust in the industry and investors' confidence. The recommendation also says that we should have a non-iron ore company to manage the port, because that is a revenue-generating infrastructure. And it's 100% the property of the government and people of Sierra Leone, even though it was constructed by African Minerals. When African Minerals was going, they handed it over to the government. The government took charge for and on behalf of the people of Sierra Leone. So it is their responsibility to harness it and manage it very well. Now, where are we? At the time of the 5th review, not all the IMF conditionalities were being fulfilled. The government been get something the way been in the pipeline waiting for fulfill. But when you look at how they draft the report, they gave timelines as to when XYZ will be fulfilled. Up to they gave recommendations they waiting for fulfill up to 2024. This was just the 5th review. I'm not talking about the 6th and 7th review. And now they have also completed the 8th review. Now, one of them is by December 2023, we don't fully liberalize the port and rail. So if we now see a situation wherein the previous agreement with another company, a Chinese firm, so to speak, had expired, and the government had already entered into a new agreement with Arise IIP, and that one was sent to Parliament. Parliament ratified it, and now the same government is now engaging in talks, proximity talks with the Chinese people to now rob Arise IIP and hand it over back to the Chinese firm. It becomes a cause for concern. Now, it may interest you to also know, if I may piece one do today, that China penetration in Africa, as much as they say, oh, now Chinese not them build this, not them build this, they're exploiting the economy. I will tell you for a fact that in the 5th Parliament of the Second Republic, there was a study commissioned by the Speaker of Parliament, who, having received the report from the committee headed by Emerson Lamina, Honorable Emerson Lamina, and other MPs, the report say or find out that we had a number of Chinese companies who were engaged in large-scale illegal mining activities in the country. And that led to the pollution of the Tara River and all other subsidiaries along that terrain. Even lead to the death, because being lead to cholera outbreak at some point, we picking them die, big people all been dying. Now, this is not the first time. Even when you look at most of the fishing vessels that are engaged in illegal, unregulated, or unreported fishing activities in our territorial waters, most of those ones who have been caught are Chinese vessels. So the question is, China corruption attracts the death penalty. Could I be? They don't practice corruption at the country. But when they come to Africa, they indulge in corrupt activities in connivance with our own people in this country. And that needs to stop.
Okay, let me bring in Marcus, now the conversation. Job creation and opportunity also very important. And Lawrence make reference about the controversy surround the Arise project. And we all know at the initial stage, the commitment with Arise, for create job opportunity for young people. And like Lawrence mentioned, we see inside the president go launch the project, and immediately launch, we see the commencement of Arise job industrial aspect, and we, more job therefore be created. And we know across, the globe, we Arise, they do operation, we know how then countries and they do improve in terms of the economy, in terms of job creation, in terms of opportunity for more people. But the controversy seems to be, in a way that it's challenging. But what you go on for saying to that and giving the opportunity to Arise, and get hold of, the things were necessary, for push the economy and go before. And most of what we talk about is about accountability and transparency. We Arise getting credibility for all into that.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm glad for the opportunity to actually contribute on this debate, especially we get to do with national interest. So it's very, very important. Now, people in Kitok say to beget the time, one has to look like the time. For make you get the time, which they do, if you reflect on what is required at that particular time. As it is right now, if you look at according to the World Bank report on the Sierra Leone per capita income, Sierra Leone, we are the second poorest country in terms of per capita, are the second poorest country. And one thing where they make the health of the economy actually boost by employment. Where employment is lacking, the possibility for make the country push go before will be very, very difficult. So as a result of that, I think this is the time wherein we actually need for address the issue of unemployment. When you talk about unemployment in general, they talk about active people where they look for job, we don't get job. You understand? You can be educated, if you look for job, you don't get job. You get people that will fall in certain classes, like manipulative class. Say, for example, in the civil service, You get people who are the lowest cadre of the class. Then they look for job, but they don't get a job. So this day in line with the president's in aspiration for creating more jobs for people as Sierra Leone, especially the young people. So as a result of that, a very, very important. So if we look at this arise issue, most times I can look for the question government in the sense that based on the me rule, you understand, as somebody with the push democratic good governance in society, you know me niche, democratic accountability, holding public officials to account. So this issue of this rail and ports, you know, and also with Arise and the Chinese company, say Leone to be specific. Now, when you look at there was a time I write plenty, you understand, about the time when they tried to terminate Leone and contracts because of the fact that they do things for the interest of the nation, right? But now we look at the situation wherein we talk about transportation, right? And transportation is very, very important, right? If you look at Sierra Leone, prior to the declaration of the protectorate in 1896, the transport sector been very, very, very poor. After the declaration of the protectorate, we begin to see development in transportation. Probably prior to that time, the people depend mostly on boats, you understand, for transport goods from one place to another, right? Then eventually with the railway, it opened a gateway wherein people where you get a lot of goods, produce, right, at the interior, but then they use them, then they transport it in the two boats from one river point to the other side. So it was very slow. When railway come, we see the extent at which way it go. Of course, the Chinese company, they operate the railway on the grounds of transportation of goods, say more so than minerals, you understand? So if we get an opportunity wherein another, you know, institution come up or a company, they try to open up because the transport sector very poor up to this particular time. So, I mean, one thing we they found out na monopoly. If you look at one reason we make salon or push go before, right? Now because of monopoly. Tell me can a salon for buy rest safe. Now they map the line. You understand? Because like now one person, right? They import goods then at the country. So when that be the monopoly, and when monopoly, it lack competition. And when lack competition, even the salary of the one way they employ, it will be very difficult, you understand? So as a result of that, this idea of introducing a railway, you understand, then also for making sure them go, you know, to the provinces and come, I think we for receiver with open hands. And government not for turn blind eyes and deaf ears on that. And the responsibility of government, in as much as they get a role, rather than get a responsibility, you understand, the 5 big changes, and among it, you get unemployment, you understand, very, very important. I think say this could create job for the country. So as a result of that, we they call on government for make they actually stand tall, you understand, and make sure say they encourage Arise, you understand, make them focus, they get the economic zone, where I understand say they don't get about, almost we employ about 1,000 workers, you understand? And the process don't start already. I watch one short clip where the people are taking prepare, they celebrate, you understand? They celebrate Arise, say, and they call on the government and the president to make sure say that promise we they may make during the time we they meet the Lawrence we talk about that particular time they meet at that Koya chiefdom, you understand? Me said me attend that particular program they want for see and come into reality. You understand? So as a result of that, governments don't for play double role. You understand? If you don't come, there was a time where Leone, right, been gets a contract with government and there was an issue. We FETA, I support them strongly on that particular thing they threw out, you understand? And during the period...
I mean, it's not me being do that.
Yes, today, I write a lot of paper against, you know, where contracts they go on, the term not reach proper, even if like one day you decide say you go terminator, you understand? We'll be challenging that. So, but it's a different thing, you understand? And we don't go like, when we reflect back, this country, they don't retrogress. because of funny things them, you understand? We're just one company, they take over a responsibility, you understand, of everything. It lack competition, a lot of things that really happen. So that make we for look at this situation, and governments forget the second thoughts, in as much as they call for, is it 500,000
Yes.
people that will say the cater for, and government not even start, and government therefore depend on the private sector. Government are the biggest employer when it comes in terms of employing people, you understand? But for now, for that government able to get that number there, it could be very difficult. But when you get institutions like Arise, they come, where they already project of having almost, I think, about 10,000.
Yeah.
You understand? People them, I think, say it will help for contribute to the development of the nation. Because we talk about economic development, we did a stagnation right now. So only the push go before, you understand? We did a standstill. So that is why we need company like Arise, right? We get all that it takes, right, for create employment, right? Other companies also get the chance for create employment, but we don't frown at a particular one. You understand? In as much as we don't go into an agreement, they don't go into an agreement. Make you always say, once I did a radio, we discuss something, somebody talks, say, we constitution get problem. I said, not so we constitution get the problem. Now we get the problem because we the implementer. The constitution, now people that come together and write them, you understand? They write them, it just there, like a secret document. Now we for take and say, the provisions of this constitution, the sections them, we respect them, just like a contract, you understand? When you go into a contract, you don't make an agreement with people them, there is this promise, you get for work assiduous, you get for double the effort, for make sure say this particular thing also, we will not enter, we realize them.
Yeah.
Let's come to you, sorry. Let's come to you, Lawrence. You know, if you get a company like Arise, we want to create a job opportunity for Sierra Leoneans for about 35,000 job opportunity for salon people. And the president in vision of that will create 500,000 job for young people in the country. If you get a company like Arise, you know, we believe, say, for complement the government efforts in creating job opportunity.
Development.
How are we for all them kind of company as a country? Because as we speak, we get greater challenge, you know, with job opportunity for young people. And you mentioned about people who don't graduate from university or certain organization, you know, and we get more people who graduate from the university, and Arise gets a kind of capacity, you know, for employ more Sierra Leoneans and create that job opportunity for them.
Now, before I actually come to your question, it's rather, should I say, unfortunate that we not get somebody with a differing opinion on this panel. I would have loved to actually, you know, sit with, or should I say, we would have loved to have somebody with a differing opinion, probably from the government side or from Kingo's side, or whatever, so that people are not, so that this does not appear as if we are doing a PR.
Yeah.
But something I want to point out, Marcos said it. When the government had an existing contract with Kingo, and at that time the contract not being expired, and the government had wanted to terminate that contract, I think we were very few we stood up against that and said, no, enough for B, you have to wait until the very last minute of the contract expires before you can move on to sign another contract with another company. So that one has been established. But what's not the most painful thing before they come to a question? The contract Kingo had with government, Kingo was paying $1.2 million annually to government for controlling the ports and the rail and everything. Now you have other companies that are operating within that corridor. The CTC mining company, the Marapa mines and others. Today I was reading that CTC alone paid about $1.7 million for, let us use that way they call it, to Kingu. How much more Marapa mines go don't pay? How much others are also paying to the master for the use of the rail? Monies that should otherwise, you know, go to the coffers of the government. So you give government a pittance of 1.2, you they collect 3 times that amount from other users of that particular facility. And that is why the IMF strongly recommended in 2022 that we should have a non-iron ore company controlling that, managing that facility. So that, one, you're able to determine actually almost the value of the exports, the minerals they would export. Because right now, there are assumptions that they are under declarations by some of these companies. So they go with 30 million tons. If they can't talk, say, 5 or 10 million tons. Secondly, we don't have, because I've been doing some investigations currently, we don't have, they call it a separation machine, that's what the experts call them. Women today, it's a separation machine. Because there is this assumption that not all no more than that place outside the mine iron ore. There are other minerals, but if you see that they all dirty because we don't get separation machine where you separate this mineral from this, from that, so they can all the dirty go China. They go to the separation or what have you. If Kingo were serious enough, they would have established a manufacturing industry here, wherein from the ore where they mine, rubble for manufacture zinc, rubble for manufacture iron rod, build the material, so to speak, nail, the other things. So it becomes cheaper in the market, the local market. And that they able for even boost we export. That is what we talk about, value addition to products. In Ghana is now industrializing the economy. In fact, they have gone far ahead of us. Let me not even mention Kenya. Let me not even mention Uganda and other countries in the region. Now make them better pass we. Well, if you look at the GDP, he mentioned about our GDP per capita. Our GDP is about $4.something billion. Per capita income is about $400 and something dollars, which means $2. Well, some man don't understand and figure out. But I just want to put that into perspective so that people get to understand the severity of what we are talking about. Now, when I say GDP now almost the production, the output, all the goods and services they all they produce in our country, everything we call. Now the GDP, the value of that. Now the per capita income is the GDP divided by the population. So for example, you get plenty of people that want to work. Of course, we don't say unemployment is a salon. So when they divide the per capita income, they say each person for the one whole year now $400 and something. Now you're entitled for that.
472 for now.
$400 and something. So imagine you go live on that for the whole year. Imagine how that's small. Now to the employment aspect. But if me, as an individual, as a Sierra Leonean, any company so far where they can industrialize the economy, and they give me full support because I know what it means and what the changes it will bring to this economy. Secondly, because Arise IIP, they have a local partner who is a Sierra Leonean. We should stand behind Sierra Leoneans. That is what is happening in Nigeria when this man will get this cement company. Dangote started producing cement. They banned the importation of cement in Nigeria. Everybody buy Dangote. Dangote became a rich man. Today, it had Nigerians giving back to society. When Gento wanted to started his company, many people go put one on Escoma and he say, hey, now this, now that, you not get capacity or what have you. And Escoma said, local content policy. Partner with a foreign firm. Let's give them the contract. Today, Gento, when Fadika died, now Gento now the next Fadika currently. So if we not support we own Sierra Leonean businesses, instead we favor foreigners them, they tell on we. And I want to advise President Bill, because from my observation, and looking at the man in structure, everything, it seems as if the cares of leadership not the pain him. It appears as if the man not the lead at all. He just take one thing and they tell him. President Bio get for B the kind of Escoma. And there came a time I saw an Escoma go deliver a speech. And they deliver the speech, and I saw the cross line so. If President Bio na post way be they read and they read well. That mistake first way make na parliament. But that electricity way they call. You see incessant shock if they read enough of you go make that mistake there. So if that the time don't come when incessant need for the reads, you don't wake na net. Read documents and what have you. Don't wait or act upon what you are being told. Read and find out for yourself as president.
Yeah, so of course you don't, mention, Arise not to just try for focus on just that of the rail and ports, but try for focus on other areas.
The textile industry, for example, this is not just about, not polarize out of the picture. The industry, the industry, no, this is something where very serious, it's pertinent to my heart, right? This is not something, the industry alone, that textile industry, you know how many jobs it will create now, you know how many skills transfer will take place if that happens. Look about the clothing industry.
Yeah, you know, we don't talk to the government and not for try for embracing people like well and hold them with 2 and 2.
That was why for me I'd love to meet communication minister or mines minister now.
Yes,
let's argue it out.
Also Sierra Leoneans, because you know say Salone we get a problem of maintenance and continuity. Usually, like how this man be rightful say, we get policies implementation and always have a problem. Some of these things, when they come, we embrace them well when it's new. Then continuation now become problem. It elapses now, you know, in the long run. So what will be on our message to people that, you know, God willing, we believe for say the president will look into this, because these are things we will help boost the economy in the country, because the economy is very fragile right now. But if we have these people, it will help develop the country and create more jobs. So if I also waiting will be the message to Sierra Leone as well for say when such opportunity don't come, we embrace them well and maintain and take care of these properties, especially when it has to do with, you know, machine things. You see we get motor car, they new and things like that. But then for make even upkeep them, go, you know, take them for go check and all these things, and then they happen. By the time you know it don't capsize. So these are all things we'll go on for no. So what you go on, I won't take on that.
Well, this is very, very important, because when you look at the country, one of the major problems we know the progress are because of the lack of maintenance. Maintenance is very, very important, right? And all depends on the company, right, which they put in place, the policies we will put in place. Then also the stringent measures where they back up that particular which is every day, because make us say, let's say Arise, like how they don't start so, I believe say lots of people they appreciate them, right? And plus they kind of also they talk. No, because not all men know, you understand? But with their kind of discussions there also they help other people for make them know, you understand? So as a result of that, a matter of making sure that we responsibility. Everybody forgets a responsibility. You understand? Eh? We're going to what they call responsibility and accountability. Now, two different things, right? When you talk about responsibility, now we then give you a duty. You understand? Eh? So this, I'm responsible for this. Accountability, where anything happen, right? Anything happen during the process, therefore hold you to account. Because we need for maintenance in there also. But one thing I want to say in addition to that, the fact say, just like how you put and say, the Sierra Leone is a fragile state in terms of the economy, right? Economy is deplorable, right? And one thing I want to say, from our colonial masters, I see this again as a kind of colonialism. You understand? Because if you look at during the colonial period, right? For example, we get SLPMB prior to around the 50s. Now then they established SLPMB, right? With the desire for make sure they help for export goods out of the country. You understand? But mostly, I mean, the British government been in charge until after independence. You understand? And when the British government been in charge, they're not able to put up one industrialized mechanism in the country. You understand? If you look at the world, we talk about the Industrial Revolution. First time people in our hand they use for making a lot of things. So life been slow. But with the Industrial Revolution, you understand what happened? A lot of development take place, right? So that make a country progress. The issue of mechanization, so like we government they talk about feeds alone. If you talk about feeds alone, you talk about increase in the production. You understand? Of produce in the country. We necessarily mean so for limiter because they say feeds alone to rest. You understand? And the government for also able for export to them. And one thing we go able for facilitate that faster. You understand? Now transportation. You understand? Because even if we get perishable goods in the provincial areas, you understand? If we don't get that quick transport system, of course we can say yes because of the mining, or we don't get this paper business way they operate. You understand? But they don't ever extend them to the ordinary man. They're not external to the farmers. You understand? Now, if you look at the situation, right? If you look at, make us say, the railway come up from Pepelia, so you understand? Then it'll go all the way to mining areas. It'll go all the way to strong business centers. You understand? Where you go enable people, you understand, for making them produce certain things. Them. And we go to them called microeconomics. That's what business the way you do. You understand? Then business then the railway or transport, you understand, go help for facilitating things for make them move faster, right? Me no say, as Sierra Leoneans, for example, we look at the economic zone, you look at waiting, Arise, IIP, they do they, you understand? That creation of job for large number of people, when they talk about 35,000, you understand? Yeah. Not a small job opportunity that one day. A lot of people today, why we feel say young people take into drugs? You understand? They talk into kush and all that today. Not to nothing that because of lack of job. If you get yourself engaged, you know, you get job where you do. Just like we say, that club, they will all for join the club, but we don't try for create we own self-employment, you understand? So that at least you're able to survive the test of time. You don't allow system for beat you, but you get huge lots of people out there, you understand? Where if you look at the difficulties, the challenges are because of that. So I feel say, Arise, if we receive that with open hands, you understand? It's a blessing to the nation. Blessing to the nation because now a company will come for boost the economic sector, you understand? For boost industrialization, create employment, you understand? So as a result of that, it is but prudent that governments look into the activities of Arise. He talked about something where he say there was a kind of recommendation, say, mining companies not for like control the railway. I support that, you understand? Because look at the money they talk. I don't even know about that. That is huge. You understand? And you look at Salone, now pittance the government they get. When government gets pittance, you understand, then they make huge amounts of money, you understand, from other mining companies, other institutions, you understand. It takes a heart, you understand, but it's too bad. So governments get for wise up, you understand, and make sure say they do what is right. I stand strongly against monopolization, for monopolize a particular something, because I know what it means. Me as a political historian, you understand, now this country, and the fact say Sierra Leone the progress go before until we get rid of that. You know, let's give one example to mobile companies. We all are say, far back, SIM, just come on SIM. It'll be expensive fast phone. You understand? Because we only get one company. You understand? But eventually, what will happen? Other companies they come up. Now, and SIM not mean nothing. You understand? So because competition day, right? And when competition day is fine. So looking at the railway, apart from the other developmental areas the way Arise IIP they come up with, you understand? You look at the railway, you know, for be monopolized. You understand? And let governments know what to do, for make sure say this country has we don't tire, right? But we don't do the same thing, they repeat. Although history say monopoly, don't make we go behind, we don't push. You understand? And the fact say you get industries we did at this country, you get companies that we did at this country. They not even come up and say, then tears what they get, then minerals they have so a lot of firm way we make it into secondary production. We are in at this because imagine if we get things the iron ore, for example, if we transform them into other things, then you understand? Even if you build it yourself, you get a lot of things. The iron ore don't go expensive. You understand? But everything's so expensive. It's like a cost to Sierra Leone. So it's high time we get rid of that cost. Encourage IIP. This one say, the talk say, it'll be fine for me to get another person. You understand? We're very fine. But me, I always endeavor, no matter whether we all talk on the same thing. What's important, the fact say, I always get my stance. And I make sure say my stance are pusher. Just like that particular period with Timap Tranga, for make sure say, the contracts where government will have for terminate, where the terminal be reached, that be a bad precedent, you understand? So again, governments go further, when I go into agreements with another company, then you come back for revert, you understand? No, it's too bad. The nation will go before.
Lawrence.
Yeah. Taking a cue from where I stopped, I want for reference the bank governor's statement recently on local media. And frustratingly, the bank governor say between 2018 to 2022, we exported about over 2 billion worth of iron ore or minerals generally out of Sierra Leone. But when it comes directly to government, it's not up to $250 million. Imagine 2 billion, over more than 2 billion exports, less than $300 million go to government. That's one a shame. And even lambasting now the bad policies, then bad agreements, bad contracts where government they sign with rogue foreign investors, where they pretend as if they come for can salvage our economy. That's one. Secondly, what industrialization they're about? For example, in Ghana, right now they assemble cars in Ghana. Any motor we don't take past 10 years, they go buy the motor where they pull smoke, they vomit smoke. Now, you can't go inside Ghana. Imagine, they assemble cars in Ghana, they couple up what they call skills. Then the electronic industry is booming right now. I'm telling you, despite there is economic hardship in that country, despite the fact that they even approach IMF for bailouts and the governments don't misuse that bailout money, they almost $3 billion or so. Yet, they are better off than us. If you look at the macroeconomics level indicators, then they're better off than us. Secondly, the government, not only they talk about not only employment within the agenda, there is also feed salon, which is the topmost priority. Now, we cannot achieve feed salon if we not get the transport infrastructure right. And one of those transport infrastructure will go easily and affordably transport farm produce to the market. Now, train. So if you have passenger train, we're not only for humans, but for also goods, right? We go transport goods from up country for Kautana, Dovecot, or wherever, or to big centers like Waterloo, for example. Then they go a long way in terms of, you know, complementing the feed salon agenda. Because agriculture now the bedrock. You can imagine China with over 1.4 billion people that are capable of feeding themselves and have surplus for export. Imagine Vietnam and other countries. There was a time when Thomas Malthus' interior population, I know so you read about it, where projects say the world will explode because the world population will grow. He said population is growing by geometric proportion. That is 2, 4, 8, 16. No, population they multiply. Whereas subsistence, referring to land, agricultural products, or what have you, was growing by arithmetic proportion. Slow, 1, 2, 3, 4, what have you. But there was somebody who countered his ideas. That was Esther Bosrop, a German scholar. We say the man now appreciates or envisage the role science and technology would play in agriculture. So now we don't cancel now. Science and technology. And one of those infrastructure, we powered by science and technology, not that real. So for me, I think say the government get for sit up right. President Bio probably is being fooled by some of his ministers. At some point, time ago, Umar Fofana wrote an article, the albatrosses around President Bio's neck. Then I think say President Bio get for choosing advisors. Well, that's why I said the cares of leadership not the way on him. Because if it does, you go see how he will tell on his physical appearance, his outlook and everything. The man need for the read and research on his own. He needs to have that time or have some independent researchers who will feed you with correct information. But don't rely on what you have been told or what your ministers are telling you. It is wrong.
Okay. So as we close, Marcus, what thing will be you parting short?
The government, I want to call on the government again, say, make them closely look at the situation as it is. And for make them go able to survive, you know, with their ambitions, like feed salon, creating employment and all that. Then for make sure say they encourage a company where get the desire, you understand, for create some amount of development in the country. So that's very, very important. Then also, any country will not get reliable transportation system, right? It will affect the health of the economy. And will affect the health of the economy is very, very serious. Now that makes it very important that even in way this railway business them introduce them, right? Just around the 1896, then period and day from 1893. Now just because of the fact, say, with railway, right, you're able to come with large stock of goods, produce, right? Because a lot of problems been there. Now, if you look at the country right now,
I know.
Now, only
while you talk and make you see at the industrial zone down there with the green come to you, so you see and how development and how big the place be and with everything, you know, we expect for the day. It's a big place and several, you know, companies there, more for produce different things there, and from that point, say, about over 35,000 jobs therefore be created for young people in Asalo. Imagine you create 35,000 jobs for young people, you know, and obviously then therefore take all sides across the country, and with Dande it's very important. So And, you know, like you've seen at the view of Arise, the industrial zone, and Akoya, and another you see so you see how committed and transparent, you know, and accountability Arise be. And see, since they make the commitment, since they come na salon, then start some project immediately. So you find out and see what's in the
And this they actually tell you for say, you know, if they're actually being held, you know, with open arms and things like that, when they see developments actually they take place and go expand and willing for expand more and create more, you know, more jobs for people and all. So
you don't like
yes. So as a result of that, as I've been talk about this colonial period, wherein you know the transport system is so deplorable, right? So they come up with the idea of the railway, right? Because this aspect of Arise, the railway business, right, is not only limited, you understand, to mining materials, you understand, you go beyond that because it helps for facilitate transportation. Now the country, you understand, I think it will be helpful when you look at the number of accidents and all that. But one thing I want to say, we don't get a lot of companies, you know, we never get a big company like Arise, where we focus, you understand, on, you know, producing out of waiting that they get for produce certain things that this country has. So, because it helps the economy. Once why you feel say the dollar gets a value than the Leone. Now, if you want to go buy overseas, you need plenty loans. You understand, for just get a few dollars. So that make we face hardship and human living cost not become so expensive. But with this opportunity, right, I feel say Sierra Leone would head towards, you know, progress, would head towards development, and in time, it will help the country. I want for and the last one is make we not encourage monopoly in this country also. We know what monopoly means. We know how, like the Lebanese, other groups of people that are foreigners that we call this country because they monopolize certain things that they become so rich, we become poor. You understand? This is now an opportunity, creating up to 35,000 jobs. We for receiver with open hands. You understand? Because it is good in the right direction, and it is helpful for the government. And governments go able to map and brag. So during the period, you understand, we're able to encourage certain companies that we create job opportunities. So I think with Arise, as waiting they go on at the moment, you understand, I feel say it's okay. And government for actually look into the issue.
Lawrence, any last thing before?
Yeah, what I would say is that the president needs to sit up. You know, people like Samoa Kamara, for example, James Sanfa Kouma, these are people who have their wits in economics. They are better off to advise government on certain crucial decisions. Or at the very least, even if the way they call, pull their politics aside, put their partisan business aside, forget what aside is, call them, when you take on this. You remember when government in the last administration sell in shares na Sierra time? That one had a telling impact on the economy. Today, Arise IIP is offering government a shares in the industrial zone. Can you imagine that? Which company? This is because the local partner we have in Sierra Leone impressed it on them that our government should have shares in this company. That's a very laudable move. So for me, I think President Bio need for opening a hand wide in terms of consultations and making sure that he do the right thing for the benefit of the people of this country. Low left. Chinese have exploited us for far too long. It's high time we put a stop to it. Hello, 6 union interest.
Okay, Lawrence Williams, and thank you very much, and Marcus Bangura, gentlemen, and I thank you very much for being part of it. Now, conversation will go for continue because it's important for let be able to set the stage and for let government, you know, see how they can before, you know, rectify the issue, and because the important job creation is good for young people, and you know, so that the economy will flow and the you know we Leones go value, you know, and as well than other countries because with the export we're able for get the materials and our back we able for make them back in Salonia.
Get specialists and most of the country, you know, train with young people and make them become specialized in certain areas. And, you know, those are how the Western world is surviving. Yeah, you even see even at school, picking to do past 16 subjects and all. But overseas and all, they make you be, specialize in one area. They will say that's your area, specialize in it. So you become, something
experts,
bigger and all these
and
things.
it affected us during the African Mineral Day, the early days of African Mineral. So then, can you imagine? We have engineers, people who don't study engineering and fabrication, do this, do tractorization, everything. When it comes to practical skills, they were lacking. So they had to employ people from Ghana, from South Africa, and other places. But today, before they go, then transfer that skill. I know somebody personally where in a person, if they ride the all machinery, if it go down, it's a big repair back. In fact, the one Chinese company they up here and that CRSG, where the machine can wait because this guy now a chuck business in Toothpa, they go put some force inside to them, make sure they wash and clean everything, they don't come to them, yeah, make it go do their work. So these are some of the, because we need to allow for skills transfer and everything. So this is very pertinent where Sierra Leoneans the need for actually take very, 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 very serious.
Absolutely. We believe, the government of Sierra Leone, that's also the people they listen. Surely, it will happen, God willing.
By God's grace. All right. Thank you very much. Well, that's all the end of this edition of News and Current Affairs show, Wake Up Sierra Leone. And Wake Up Sierra Leone will return again tomorrow, same time at 8 o'clock and to 10. My name is David M. Wilson. Many thanks to Uvi as one for apologize because we know before the message is there because of technical reason, but obviously keep sending the message and we promise you so we'll read them in other programs then. So very sorry because we know before the message is there.
And my name is Sonia Jaffa.